Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for tuning in to my weekly guitar blog. It's May 27th, 2012, and this time around we're going to go head out to sunny Australia. We had Ronnie write in from Melbourne, Australia. He said, hey Andrew, I've memorized my pentatonics over the whole neck, but when I use them in improvising, it just sounds like I'm playing straight scales. Can you suggest what I can do to combat this? Please help. Thanks from Ronnie in Melbourne, Australia. Well, thanks for writing in, Ronnie. You know, when it comes to getting scales of any kind to sound like great melody lines, there's a number of details you want to bring into your daily practice routine as well as your daily routine for the rehearsal of practicing improvisation. Now, I've created a few on-the-neck examples of how you can start bringing all this stuff together in your own guitar playing. So let's zoom in on the guitar neck and get things started. The first thing I'm going to start with in example number 1 is an idea of scale sequencing. And what sequencing is when you take a scale and you break it up into a repetitive group of notes that cycle through in the same manner through all of the degrees of the scale. Now, I'm going to be starting here with the standard pentatonic shape built off the 6th string in 5th position, giving us A minor pentatonic. And what I'm going to do is a sequence pattern here for you to get you started. It goes like this, starting from the top, 1st guitar string, it's working in groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, like that. So it's a group of 4 notes essentially that are cycling along. It's very good work. I highly recommend it. Yeah, I'm sure you could dream up all kinds of scale sequencing cycles, if you just put your mind to it and spend some time working upon it. Let's move on though to example number 2. And in this example, we're going to break away from being in position and working very vertically along the neck to going much more horizontally and working along the fretboard. So here's the example I put together for you. Okay, here it is a little bit slower. And you can hear in there how I put a couple of slides in certain spots. I mean, you could change those locations where the slides are placed. You don't have to do it exactly the way I did it. And of course, this scale works off the 5th string root. Definitely spend some time and understand how that same along the neck pattern could also function off of the 5th string root, and then explore working off 4th string as well. Try to get as well versed as you possibly can with working very horizontally along your fingerboard. Let's move on to example number 3, where I'm basically coming up with a guitar lick here, and my premise is that it's very important for you to dream up and create your own guitar licks, because eventually they'll become a staple part of the way you play guitar in your own personal style. So example number 3 is a very simple guitar lick with a slide inside of it. It goes like this. So it's all out of that A minor sound. It's very straightforward. I would suggest that your first licks you begin developing are quite short, maybe a measure or a measure and a half in length. I have another simple one with example number 4, but this time I've moved on to making the guitar lick a little bit more in its sense of embellishment. So I'm including much more in the direction of the slides and bends and hammer-on pull-off ideas. It actually starts with a 16th note triplet idea. So it's kind of a cool idea. That's example number 4. It has a bend at the end there where we're taking a G, bending it up to an A, a whole step bend, full step bend. So that kind of work is excellent. Branch out from when you've done a few simple licks that don't have a lot of ornamentation or embellishment ideas like slides or bends or hammer-ons or pull-offs, and then start branching out so there's more and more and more of those things. Now, in example number 5, I want to move into this idea of what we'll call double stops. I'm sure you've heard them, very popular with like Hendrix. Okay, and here's example number 5. So when you combine a couple of strings together and create this double stop concept, you're starting to introduce a lot more of the harmony around lines, and you can build longer and longer lines as time goes on. I'm sure you'll notice very quickly that all a longer line is that you develop is just simply a series of smaller guitar licks. So that's why, again, I have to stress the work at creating small, simple guitar licks, a measure or a measure and a half in length, because they pile on one another eventually and they create a lot of good work for you. And of course, also I should mention the importance of jam tracks, to be able to come up with a riff or a couple of chords, that you can go to work and record and start practicing playing the licks that you invent, and of course the licks that you'll pull off of your favorite players in some kind of proper context. It really pays off in the long run. Well, once you've developed general technique for playing scale patterns and you've completely memorized a set of patterns on the guitar neck, you've actually only just scratched the surface. The next levels with scale practice are working out some sequences, designing scale layouts that are more horizontal and function more along the neck, and of course working with licks. Now, in the video I discussed licks that you can create from scratch and how you can embellish them with bends and slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs. But don't forget all of the practice that's also important for learning licks by ear from your favorite melodies and solos. This work on your ear training and of hearing music to the instrument directly will enormously help your ability to make melody with scales. See, because if you can hear a line on a recording and then learn it by ear, that's pretty much the exact same thing as hearing a line in your mind using your own imagination and then making that line a reality on your guitar. Anyway, once again, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, I hope these explanations help you. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.